Hello, my name is Kenneth Blackburn, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the Renaissance period or Renaissance period of music as it relates to this course. Firstly, some general information on the background of the period. The word Renaissance is a French word meaning rebirth, and it defines the period as one of cultural revival and renewed interest in classical antiquity after centuries of the Dark Ages. The Renaissance began in Tuscany in central Italy and centered in the city of Florence. The Florentine Republic rose to economic and political prominence by providing credit to European monarchs and by laying the groundwork for developments in capitalism and in banking. Renaissance culture would later spread to Venice, which gave access to ancient Greek texts. The Renaissance has a reputation for its achievements in painting, architecture, sculpture, literature, music, philosophy, science, technology, and exploration. The period peaked in the mid-16th century as domestic disputes and foreign invasions plunged the region into turmoil. However, the ideas and ideals of the culture did spread to Europe. Society during this period was based on merchants and commerce. Merchants were like an elevated middle class, or the Burgoy's class, which I'll mention in a little bit. Urban centers like Florence, Venice, and Rome had bustling marketplaces which sold goods from distant lands. Family was the cornerstone of society, with homes being multi-generational and even extended families staying under one roof. Gender roles during this period were well defined, as men were the primary earners and women primarily responsible for managing the household. Children were expected to learn their role in society from an early age. Fashion was a statement about wealth, social status, and personal style. Silks, velvets, and brocades in vibrant hues were worn by nobility, while the middle class displayed their status through more modest but tasteful attire. Religion during this period consisted of the Catholic Church, which had significant influence, and faith permeated all aspects of society. Secondly, the Renaissance period music background. The development of printing made distribution of music possible on a wide scale. The demand for music as entertainment and as an activity for educated amateurs increased with the rise of the Burgoy's class, which is the merchant class I mentioned earlier. Music was increasingly freed from the medieval constraints, and more variety was permitted in range, rhythm, harmony, form, and notation. Yet, rules of counterpoint became more constrained, particularly with regard to the treatment of dissonance. Music became a form of personal expression during this period. Composers would find ways to make vocal music more expressive. Secular music absorbed techniques from sacred music and vice versa. Popular secular forms throughout Europe were the chanson and the madrigal. Precursor versions of many familiar modern instruments, including the violin, guitar, lute, and keyboard, were developed during this period. Early forms of woodwind and brass instruments like the bassoon and the trombone also appeared during this period. A wide range of musical styles and genres flourished during the Renaissance, including masses, motets, madrigals, chansons, accompanied songs, instrumental dances, and many others. A defining feature of music in this period is a style called polyphony, which is a musical texture consisting of two or more simultaneous lines of independent melody. Music of the period was significantly influenced by the rise of humanistic thought, which affirms that human beings have the right and responsibility to give meaning and shape to their own lives. Thirdly, the Renaissance period music choices. The first piece I chose was Quam Pulchra Es by John Dunstable. That translates to How Beautiful You Are. The genre is sacred and motet, and the original piece was performed on a cappella. I chose it because I think it's a good example of arts from the period which focused on selling beauty and love. The lyrics may sound sensuous, but it is a biblical text that depicts the passionate love of the Israelites for their God. The second piece is Nymphas de Bois by Josquin des Perez. The genre is secular, chanson, and lament, and the original piece was also performed on a cappella. The lament is for the occasion of the death of the composer's predecessor, Johannes Ockeghem. It's based on a poem by Jean Molinet and includes the funeral text Requiem Adornam. It is considered one of the most haunting and memorial works ever penned, and I chose it because it's a good contrast to my other piece, yet it still emphasizes the beauty of the period. And that's all I have, and I'll see you next time. Bye.